Kirby now.
Yeah. Woo. I'm the man, I'm the man.
Like,
I'm the man, 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 yeah. Hey, I'm the man.
Yeah, I got rubies around my neck, nigga, the connect, die for my respect. Yeah, hey, mama always told me, nigga, you a blockhead. Man, I always got in trouble, cause I would never skate. Yeah, every year, bitch, look at me. I can whip the cookie, but cook it like they cook for me. Ain't no roach and rats accompanying me. Got gangsters in my section, boy, he seen you on TMZ. Boy, looking like the police. Boy, you ain't in my league. We go down at high speed. You can't hush, you gon' have to show us. I bet 100 duncho, they gon' be scraping you out for the floor. I keep a bad bitch with me. She 223. She can swallow 50. Oh man, she ain't it. Oh yeah, she be ready to go tell them how. She gon' let them how on that stripper pole. Ain't no snitching, bitch. We be lit. You get hit with that shit. I'm the man. Ain't no playing, bitch. You get hit with that shit. Nigga, I'm the man. Ain't no snitching, bitch.
We gon' pull up, handle business.
I'm the man. Ain't no playing, bitch. You get hit with that shit. Bitch, cause I'm the man.
We gon' pull up, handle business.
Yeah, hold up, show us the money, man. These niggas ain't the whole honey, man. Excuse my 3 for the soul. Better watch those chopper thong. I know a line when I see a line. I ain't never hang with them hoe. I ain't never changed. I see all of them. All the niggas see the same thing. Yeah, I don't need no new friends. But a nigga did see a new thing. You know the man. Gotta take a new bitch for speed. If she can sing, she can really sing. And she like my ad libs off mine. She don't like what niggas say my name. I say some motherfuckers gon' bang. Move the chop out to see that bitch, hey. Oh boy, got that yakky out here acting babe. Hey, on guard. Turn your body go, we go retarded with the tar. My pull up gang strong, bitch. I poke in your yard.
We pull up and pullin' in, no. About to ski out, yeah, you know we workin' clean. We tryna get rich, then the big.
Ain't no snitching, bitch. We be lit, you get hit with that shit. I'm the man. Ain't no playing, bitch. You get hit with that shit. Nigga, I'm the man. Ain't no snitching, bitch.
We gon' pull up, handle business.
I'm the man. Ain't no playing, bitch. You get hit with that shit. Bitch, cause I'm the man.
We gon' pull up, handle business.
Kirby now.
Keep my name out your fucking mouth.
Yeah. Ain't no nigga running nothing on this end, nigga. Your problems ain't my problems. My problems ain't never been your problem.
I'm on my shit,
Yeah, that hard.
but that rollin'.
Yeah, that hard.
Big black phone.
Yeah, that hard.
Ride for
Yeah, that hard.
Hey,
Yeah, that hard.
fuck with the real ones.
Yeah, that hard.
Chasing these millions.
Yeah, that hard.
Bitch, I kill you.
Yeah, that hard.
Hey,
What you got?
I got good dope.
Yeah, that
I
hard.
got gold ropes.
Yeah, that hard.
V12 motor, look out for my nigga.
Yeah, that hard.
Fuck with the killer.
Yeah, that hard.
Came up with the dealer.
Yeah, that hard.
Bitch, I kill you.
Yeah, that hard. I just gon' buy the new Drake. Get my little brother through yay. Hey, little nigga gon' go crazy. You gon' think he hates you.
Young nigga
Hey,
lit.
diamonds around my neck. Nigga gon' think I'm famous.
Get it.
Hey, me without my strap, I might well be naked. Yeah, niggas act like they like me. Yeah, I know they nigga don't like me. I don't even care about fighting. I rather get a strike. Yeah, I rather kill on sight.
Yeah,
Too many bitch ass niggas, these niggas gon' play what they like.
play what they
Yeah, pull that Drake out, touch it like a candlelight. I'm in and out of control. I'm on a medical road. Hey, I punch you in the nose, violate parole.
Yeah.
Hey, drop you like a motherfucking domino. Come get your neck broke, throw you in paws and O's. Hard. I be blowing chicks, I got a foot on their neck. That's hard. She swallow that dick like a turtleneck. Yeah, hey, young nigga look at me, they like OG on. That's hard. I'm good from the shoulder, surgical with the pole.
I'm on my shit.
Yeah, that hard.
But that rolling.
Yeah, that hard.
Big black phone.
Yeah, that hard.
Ride for
Yeah, that hard.
Hey,
Yeah, that hard.
fuck with the real ones.
Yeah, that hard.
Chasing the millions.
Yeah, that hard.
Bitch, I kill you.
Yeah, that hard.
Hey,
What you got?
I got good dope.
Yeah, that
I got
hard.
gold ropes.
Yeah, that hard.
B12 motor, look out for my nigga.
Yeah, that hard.
Fuck with the killer.
Yeah, that hard.
Came up with the dealer.
Yeah, that hard.
Bitch, I kill you.
Yeah, that
Then I be
hard.
missing $1. I'ma go red dot 'em.
Bottom,
Hey,
bottom.
Betty won't get to play possum. I'm on headshot 'em. Yeah. Hey, spin round in the Riga with the busted collar. Yeah, black out the window like that whole blocker. Yeah, started with a quarter of re-rock. Got me a quarter straight drop. Pyrex hot like a teapot. Mama ain't like my behavior. We come from nothing, I came up from nothing. I remember them nights, no lights or nothing. How you gon' be hustling hard for nothing? Seen a nigga lose they life for nothing. Dudes outside, we fighting for nothing. Standing on 10, bitch, I'm trouble. I'm a fighter, I'm a lover. I just gave my bitch a Harley. Got a number on them P's, guaranteed to bless your hustle. Yeah, that's hard. We don't know for nothing. Yeah, that's hard. We bout that money. Yeah, that's hard. Like ain't never had shit. I got a VV fest. Yeah, that's hard. Your facial expression, yeah, say you jealous. Dang. 20 on your head just to send a mess. Hard. That broke shit, that pathetic. Yeah, but dollar bet.
I'm on my shit.
Yeah, that hard.
But that rolling.
Yeah, that hard.
Big black phone.
Yeah, that hard.
Ride for
Yeah, that hard.
Hey,
Yeah, that hard.
fuck with the real ones.
Yeah, that hard.
Chasing the millions.
Yeah, that hard.
Bitch, I kill you.
Yeah, that hard.
Hey,
Miyagi, I'm kicking it. Won't babysit you, I ain't in there. Go get some haters, they feeling it. Shit gone when the blitz, gone when the blitz.
run, get that money like you want a race. You want some money, go get you some haters. Go get you some haters. Break. Run, get that money like you want a race. You want some money, go get you some haters. Go get you some haters. Yeah. Break. Run, get that money like you want a race.
Get that money like you in the back of an armor, a truck in a bank. Yeah, I want all my money. I remember them days I was broken, they ain't feel my pain. Now I'm a boss, I'm a big dog, and you ain't got nothing on the rent, dog. Get your head scoured, nailed to the wall, blood tripping, it's a downfall. I want my check, I got a foot on their neck. I got a foot
Run,
on
get
their
that money
neck.
like you want a race.
I got a foot on
Go
their neck.
get you some
I
haters.
got a
Go
foot
get you
on
some
their
haters.
neck. Yeah,
Break.
I got a foot on their neck. I got a foot
Run,
on
get
their
that money
neck.
like you want a race. Go
I
get you
got
some
a foot
haters.
on their neck. I got a foot on their neck. I want my check. That be right after we huddle up.
Right.
Double up, double up, double up. I won't fumble the bundle. I'm getting it in Hunters. No, I'm gonna keep Benjamin buckled up.
Right.
For real. There's blood on my money for real. I'm on the back of their heels.
Right.
I'm MVP of the year. It's up. For real. There's blood on my money for real. I'm on the back of their heels.
Right.
I'm MVP of the year.
Break. Run, get that money like you want a race. You want some money, go get you some haters. Go get you some haters. Break. Run, get that money like you want a race.
I got a foot on their neck. I got a foot
You
on
want
their
some
neck.
money, go get you some haters. Go
I
get you
got
some
a foot
haters.
on their neck.
Yeah.
I got a
Break.
foot
Run,
on
get
their
that
neck.
money like
Hey,
you want a
go
race.
get that money like Pimp C. Go get that money like Nips. Yeah, make sure you take you some pictures. Yeah, stun on that little bit, stun on that little bit, and see how many haters it gets you. Yeah, they sick, they gon' need a prescription. Go strike 'em out like a picture. I'm sticking in a scripture, though lacking a mix. Just spin it, don't give 'em no
Break. Run, get that money like you want a race. You want some money, go get you some haters. Go get you some haters. Break. Run, get that money like you want a race.
I got a foot on their neck. I got a foot
You
on
want
their
some
neck.
money, go get you some haters. Go
I
get you
got
some
a foot on
haters.
their neck.
Yeah.
I
Break.
got a foot
Run,
on
get
their
that money
neck.
like you
I
want
my
a
check.
race.
I know I look like I'm broken them.
Bang.
Foot on their neck and I'm opening.
Right.
They gon' come shot when I open the spot. Keep the mop for the obvious and bopping it.
Right.
For real. There's blood on my money for real. I'm on the back of their heels.
Right.
I'm MVP of the year. It's up. For real. There's blood on my money for real. I'm on the back of their heels.
Right.
I'm MVP of the year.
Break. Run, get that money like you want a race. You want some money, go get you some haters. Go get you some haters. Break. Run, get that money like you want a race.
I got a foot on their neck. I got a foot
You
on
want
their
some
neck.
money, go get you some haters. Go
I
get you
got
some
a foot
haters.
on their neck. I
Break.
got a
Run,
foot
get
on
that
their
money
neck.
like you want a race.
I got a foot on their neck. I got a
You
foot
want
on
some
their
money,
neck.
go get you some haters. Go
I
get you
got
some
a foot on
haters.
their neck. I
Break.
got a
Run,
foot
get
on
that
their
money
neck.
like
I
you
want
want
my
a
check.
race.
Not a blemish on my image, I'm eternal, I'm eternal, I'm eternal, I'm eternal, I'm eternal. Ain't no promise I'ma see tomorrow. Yeah, something but my name, make a fuck nigga stay in they lane. Burn them up and turn them up internally. me, I feel like I'm eternal, yeah. And I've been living longer than the Lord. Boy, if I ain't believing God, I won't see nothing but them walls. Gotta tell him you a king. You will never reach me cause I'm tied to a chick, dog. Nah, I ain't no regret, dog. Standing on the business. Everything you want, I know how to get it started. I'm like a cigarette. You want smoke, you get lit up.
Hello, people. How are you this morning? Listen, it is most definitely Thursday today. Yes, it is. We have made it most of the way through the week. We have gotten over hump day, baby. We on the upper side. All right, we sliding down the hill. Okay, okay. Let me see who in here. Let me see. We got Callie Cousin, this motherfucker. Who's that? Good. We got amazingly amazingly beautiful. How are you? Top flight in this beach. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? We got my mother's keeper in here. How are you this morning? We got Miss Wisdom. I like that name. Yeah, I like that name a lot. How you doing? You doing? How you doing? We got um City Liana. I'm so sorry if I butchered your name. I didn't mean to. It's early. Don't judge me. I'm sorry. Um, we got Lawanda in this bitch. How you doing? How you doing? Marquette in this here. Hello. How are you? How are you? How are you? We got Rob in here. We got the Rob that people actually like to see. That Rob, not that other child. Anyway, let me see. Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. How are y'all this morning? How are y'all this morning? How are y'all this morning? Hello, and thank you for being here. We're gonna get right to it. Okay, I have some news stories up. Okay. And we are going to get right to that. All right. Hmm. It seems like this one does not want to. Oh, it's my computer. I probably should have restarted this bitch before I came on live, huh? Yeah, I probably should have restarted this bitch before I came on live. But that's okay. Why it was calling early this morning? Listen. Anyway, we're going to go to another story, okay? Because that one just, baby, that one is just not acting right at all, okay? Um, so let's go over here and we're going to go over here to these one, and here we go. All right. So let me make this bigger so y'all can see it. Stealth signals are bypassing Iran's internet blackouts. Why are you? Thank you. Files hidden in satellite TV broadcasts keep information flowing. Now, even though I cannot highlight your comments right now because I'm on a whole other screen, I'm on the laptop, I can see them on the TV. So if I happen to see one pop up, then I will read it. I just can't put it up on the screen. On January 8th, 2026, the Iranian government imposed a near communications shutdown. It was the country's first full information blackout. For weeks, the internet was off across all provinces, while services, including the government run inter- intranet, VPNs, text messages, mobile calls, and even landlines were severely throttled. It was an unprecedented lockdown that left more than 90 million people cut off, not only from the world, but from one another. Since then, connectivity has never fully returned. Following U.S. and Israeli airstrikes in late February, Iran again imposed near total restrictions, and people inside the country again saw global information flows dry up. The original January shutdown came amid nationwide protests over the deepening economic crisis and political uh, repression, in which millions of people chanted anti government slogans in the streets. While Iranian protests have become frequent in recent years, this was one of the most significant uprisings since the Islamic Revolution in 1979. The government responded quickly and brutally. One report put the deletion toll at more than 7,000 confirmed deletions and more than 11,000 under investigation. Many sources believe that the deletion toll could exceed 30,000. 13 days into the January shutdown, we at Net Freedom Pioneers, or NFP, turned to a system we had built for exactly this kind of moment, one that sends files over ordinary satellite TV signals. During the national information vacuum, our technology called Tushesh delivered real-time updates into Iran, offering a lifeline to millions starved of trusted information. How Iran censors the internet. I joined Net Freedom Pioneers, a nonprofit focused on anti-censorship technology in 2014. Censorship in Iran was a defining feature with my youth in the 1990s. After the Islamic Revolution, most Iranians began to lead double lives. One at home where they could drink, dance, and choose their clothing, another in public where everyone had to comply with stifling government laws. My first experience with secret communications was when I was 5 and living in the small city of Fasa in southern Iran. My uncle brought home a satellite dish, dangerously illegal at the time, that allowed us to tune into 12 satellite channels. My favorite was Cartoon Network. Then, during my teenage years, this same uncle introduced me to the internet through dial up modems. I remember using Yahoo Mail with its 4 megabytes of storage, reading news from around the world, and learning about Chandra X-ray telescope from NASA's website. That openness didn't last. As internet use spread in the early 2000s, Iranian government began reshaping the network itself. Unlike the highly distributed networks in the United States or Europe, where thousands of providers exchange traffic across many independent routes, Iran's connection to global internet is relatively centralized. Most international traffic passes through a small number of gateways controlled by state-linked telecom operators. That architecture that architecture gives authorities unusual leverage by restricting or withdrawing those connections. They can shape, reduce, they can sharply reduce the country's access to the outside world. Over the past decade, Iran has expanded this control through what it calls the National Information Network, a domestically routed system designed to keep data inside the country whenever possible. Many government services, banking systems, and local platforms are hosted on this internet network. During periods of unrest, access to the global internet can be throttled or cut off, while portions of this domestic network continue to function. The government began its censorship campaign by redirecting or blocking websites. As internet use grew, it adopted more sophisticated approaches. For example, the telecommunication company of Iran uses a technique called deep packet inspection to analyze the content of data packets in real life. This method enables it to identify and block specific types of traffic, such as VPN connections, messaging apps, social media platforms, and banned websites. The stealth of satellite transmission. Suez's communication workaround builds on a history of satellite TV adoption in the Middle Eastern and Northern African countries. By the early 2000s, satellite dishes were common in Iran. Today, the majority of households in Iran have access to satellite TV despite its official prohibition. Unlike subscription services such as DirecTV and Dish Network, free to air satellite TV broadcasts are unencrypted and can be received by anyone with a dish receiver. No subscription required because the signals are open. Users can also capture and store the data they carry rather than simply watching it live. Tech savvy people learned that they could use a digital broadcasting DVB card, a piece of hardware that connects to a computer and tunes into satellite frequencies to transform a personal computer into a satellite receiver. This way, they could watch and store media locally as well as download data from dedicated channels. And here is a picture of those satellites hanging outside people's windows. Tuesh, a Parisian word that translates to knapsack, is the brainchild of Medici, or Medha, Mehdi, Mehdiyahyandejad, however the hell you say it, an Iranian American technologist and entrepreneur. That person co-founded Net Freedom Pioneers in 2012. He proposed the satellite computer connections enabled by a DVB card could be recreated in software, eliminating the need for specialized hardware. He added a simple digital interface to the software to make it easy for anyone to use. The next breakthrough came when the NFP team developed a new transfer protocol that tricked ordinary satellite receivers into downloading data alongside audio and video content. Thus, thus Tushish was born. Satellite TV uses a file system called MPEG transport system that allows multiple audio, video, or data layers to be packed into a single stream file. When you tune into a satellite channel and select an audio option or closed captions, you're accessing data stored in different parts of the stream. The NFP team's insight was that by piggybacking on one of these layers, Tushesh could send a MPEG stream that included document, videos, and more. And this is a diagram of how that works. Okay, a satellite receiver can't tell the difference between our data and normal satellite audio and video data since it only sees the MPEG streams, not what's encoded on them. This means the data can be downloaded, read, and watched and saved on local devices such as computers, smartphones, or storage devices. What's more, the system is entirely private. No one can detect whether someone has received data through Tushesh. um, there are no traceable logs of user activity. Tushas doesn't provide internet access, but rather delivers curated data through satellite technology. The fundamental distinction lies in the way users interact with the system. Unlike traditional internet services, where you type a request into your browser and receive data in response, Tushas operates more like a combination of radio and television, presenting information in a magazine like format. Users do not make requests, instead, they receive 1 to 5 gigabytes of packaged, carefully selected data. During this year's internet blackout, we distributed official statements from Iranian opposition leader Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, and the U.S. government. We provided first aid tutorials for medics and injured protesters. We sent uncensored news reports from BBC Persian, Iranian International, Iran Wire, VOA Farsi, and others. We also shared critical software packages, including anti censorship, anti surveillance tools, along with how to guides to help people securely connect to Starlink satellite terminals, allowing them to stay protected and anonymous as they sent their own communication.
Good morning.
Hold
Today's
on,
Thursday,
hold
April
on,
16th.
hold on, hold on.
The time is
Okay, I have my own morning announcements. Okay, don't judge me. Anyway, during this year's internet blackout, we distributed official statements from Iranian opposition leader Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi and U.S. government. We provided first aid tutorials for medics and injured protesters. We sent uncensored news reports from BBC, Parisian, Iran International, Iran Wire, VOA Farsi, and others. We also shared critical software packages, including anti-censorship and anti-surveillance tools, along with how-to guides to help people securely connect to Starlink satellite terminals, allowing them to stay protected and anonymous as they sent their own communication. How to combat signal interference. Because Tushish relies on one-way satellite broadcast, it evades the usual tactics governments use to block internet access. However, it remains vulnerable to satellite signal jamming. The Iranian government is notorious for deploying signal jamming, especially in larger cities. In 2009, the government used uplink interference with attacks the satellite in orbit by beaming strong noise in the frequency of the satellite's receiver. This makes it impossible for the satellite to distinguish the information it's supposed to receive. However, because this type of attack temporarily disables the entire satellite, Iran was threatened with international sanctions and in 2012 stopped using the method. The current method, called terrestrial jamming, uses antennas installed at higher elevations than surrounding buildings to beam strong noise over a specific area in a frequency range of household receivers. This attack is effective on keeping some of the packets from arriving and damaging others, effectively jamming the transmission. But it's short range and requires significant power, so it's impossible to implement nationwide. There are always people somewhere who can still watch TV, download from Tushish, or tune into a satellite radio despite the jamming. Even so, we wanted a workaround that would keep our transmissions broadly accessible. NFP's solution was added to redundancy similar to principle to data storage technique called RAID, redundant array of independent disks. Instead of sending each piece of data once, we send extra information that allows missing or corrupted packets to be reconstructed under normal circumstances. We often use 5% of our bandwidth for its redundancy during periods of active jamming. We increase that to as much as 25 to 30%, improving the chances that users can recover complete files despite interface. From crisis response to public access. Tushish finally came online in 2015 in Iran and Afghanistan. Its full potential, however, was realized during 2019 protests in Iran, which saw the most widespread internet shutdown prior to the blackout this year. Wired called the 2019 shutdown the most severe disconnection tracked by NetBlocks in any country in terms of its technical complexity and breadth. Our technology helped thousands of people stay informed. We sent crucial local updates, legal aid guides, digital security tools, and independent news to satellite receivers all over the country, seeking a six-fold increase in our user base. When that wave of protests subsided, the government allowed some communication services to return. People were again able to access a free internet using VPNs and other anti-filter software that allowed them to bypass restrictions. Tushesh then became a public access point for news, educational material, and entertainment beyond government filtering. Tushesh's impact is often personal. A traveling teacher in Western Iran told NFP that he regularly distributed Tushesh files to re- students in remote villages. One package included footage of female athletes competing in the Olympic Games, something never broadcast in Iran. For one girl, it was the first time she realized women could compete professionally in sports. The, that moment underscores a broader truth. Access to information is not only about news or politics, but about exposure to possibilities. The cost of tuition. Unlike internet-based systems, tuition's operational cost remains consistent regardless of the number of users. A single satellite TV in geostationary Earth orbit deployed and maintained by international companies such as U- Utelesat, EUTELSAT, can broadcast an entire continent with no increase in cost to audiences. What's more, the startup cost for users isn't high. A satellite dish and receiver in Iran costs less than $50, which is affordable to many. And it costs nothing to people who use Tushesha service and receive its files. However, operating the service is costly. Net Freedom Pioneer pay tens of thousands of dollars a month for satellite bandwidth. We have received funding from the U.S. State Department, but in August of 2025, that funding ended, forcing us to suspend services in Iran. Then in December, protests happened, and broadcasting to Iran became an urgent priority. To turn Tushes back on, we needed roughly $50,000 a month with the support of a handful of private donors. We were able to meet these costs and sustain operations in Iran for a few months, though the future there and elsewhere is uncertain. Satellites against censorship. Tushesh's revival in Iran came alongside NFP's ongoing support for deployments of Starlink, a satellite internet service that allows users to connect directly to satellites rather than relying on domestic networks, which the government can shut down. Unlike Tushesh's one-way broadcast, Starlink provides full two-way internet access, enabling users to send messages, upload videos, and communicate with the outside world. In 2022, we started gathering donations by Starlink terminals for Iran. We delivered more than 300 of the roughly 50,000 there, enabling citizens to send encrypting updates and videos to us from inside the country. Because technology is banned by the government, access remains limited and carries risks. Iranian authorities have recently arrested Starlink users and sellers. And unlike Tushesh's receive-only broadcast, Starlink terminals transmit signals back to orbit, creating a radio footprint that could potentially be detected. Looking ahead, we envision Tushesh becoming a foundational part of global digital resilience. It is uncensored, untraceable, and resistant to government shutdown. Because Tushesh is downlink only, it can sometimes feels hard to explain the value of its technology to those living in the free world. Those accustomed to open internet access, yet people living under censorship have few other choices when there's a digital blackout. Currently, NFP is developing new features like intelligent content curation and automatically prioritizing data packages based on geographic or situational needs. And we are experimenting with local sharing tools that allow users to receive two chefs broadcasts to redistribute those files via Wi Fi hotspots or other online networks, which could extend the system's reach to disaster zones, conflict areas, and climate impacted regions where infrastructure may be destroyed. We are also looking at other use cases. Following the Taliban's return to power in Afghanistan, Net Freedom Pioneers designed a satellite based system to deliver educational materials. Our goal is to enable private, large scale distribution of coursework to anyone, including the girls who are banned from Afghanistan schools. This system is technically ready, but has yet to secure funding for deployment. We aim not to build a tool for censorship circumvention, but to redefine access itself. Whether in an Iranian city under surveillance, a Guatemalan village without internet, or a refugee camp in East Africa, Two Chefs offers a powerful and practical model for delivering vital information without relying on vulnerable or expansive networks. Two Chefs is a reminder that innovation doesn't have to mean complexity. Sometimes the most transformative ideas are the simplest, like delivering data through the sky quality and affordably into hands of those who need it most. That is the end of that long drawn out ass story. So basically, Iran um, has found a way to get information to them. Okay. Um, on to the next story. So according to Reader, they're saying that we're standing in the middle of something that should have always existed. A long-awaited Chicago South Side Birth Center breaks ground on the far south side. Okay. Let me make this bigger for y'all. Here is a picture of the happy people. After 15 years of planning, fundraising, lobbying, and other preparations, leaders at a Chicago South Side Birth Center are closer than ever to establishing the first independent Black midwife led maternity care facility in the city's majority Black South Side neighborhood. In early April, the nonprofit leaders were joined by political representatives, community partners, neighbors, birth workers, funders, and other local lenders for a groundbreaking ceremony at 8301 South Shore in the city's Chicago neighborhood on the far south side. Donning hard hats and armed with shovels, Chicago Southside Birth Center founder and lead steward Janine Valerie Logan was joined by Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, Illinois Lieutenant Governor and Democratic nominee for U.S. Senate Juliana Stratton, 10th Ward Alderperson Peter Chico, and Chicago Department of Planning and Development Commissioner Sierra Boatwright. Together, they and others symbolically broke ground by pouring piles of dirt at the birth center's future location, where construction began earlier this year. What we're creating here at Chicago Southside Birth Center is truly legacy, not only for ourselves, but for our whole community, said Valerie Logan. This work we're doing together involves actualizing the visions and dreams of those who have come before us. And here you can see, you know, the symbolic ceremony. Okay. Liz Dozier, founder and CEO of the philanthropic organization Chicago Beyond, which reportedly contributed $1.5 million to Chicago South Side Birth Center's construction costs, and where Valerie Logan is employed as a leader in the residence to develop the birth center, called the day special. And it's not just because we're breaking ground, it's because we're standing in the middle of something that should have always existed. The years-long project to establish an independent Black midwife-led birth center is expected to be completed early 2027 and aims to bring community-based holistic reproductive health care, childbirth education, pre-postnatal care, lactation support, and community wellness programming to the South Side, which has historically lacked access to comprehensive health care services. Valerie Logan worked to open the Chicago Southside Birth Center since she founded the organization in 2021. Research shows that Black midwives, and doulas significantly improve outcomes in Black maternal health care by providing culturally appropriate care, advocacy, and emotional support, as well as mitigating the impact of medial medical racism, in turn reducing pregnancy-related deletion. In Illinois, Black women are twice as likely to expire from pregnancy-related causes and three times as likely to expire from pregnancy-related medical complications as uncooked women, according to the Illinois Department of Public Health. The creation of the birth center followed the passage of legislation that increased the number of birth centers allowed to operate in Illinois. The project's compilation has been delayed multiple times due to changing construction costs, zoning challenges that have come with turning a church into a birth center, and the task of educating government bureaucrats about doulas when people don't really know what a birth center is. Valerie Logan, nonetheless, she believes, Valerie Logan said, nonetheless, she believes the state of the U.S. reproductive health care and politics around it have contributed to the support of the Chicago Southside Birth Center as received has received in recent years. I think it was a lot to do with the national landscape of the material health crisis and then the state really getting behind us. But I think with the government and philanthropy really being like this, being like this is something important that we need to be putting our money into. I think I helped move the narrative around like this is something that should be accessible to folks in community, Valerie Logan said. Last year, the Chicago Southside Birth Center received a $3.3 million community development grant from the city, part of an $8.1 million the center raised in a capital campaign that ended in June. Valerie Logan said the center received donations from individuals, foundations, philanthropists, and state city governments. In 2023, the Chicago Southside Birth Center crowdsourced roughly one-third of the funds used to purchase its location, according to Block Club Chicago. During the ceremony, Johnson spoke in part about the importance of the city providing financial support to projects like Chicago Southside Birth Center that aim to address gaps in Chicago's reproductive health care options and wanted to see a similar birth center on the city's west side. The real harsh realities of the gaps with the maternal health care that our mothers, especially Black mothers, have experienced, um, they're not new, says Johnson, but they are certainly the result of decades of disinvestment and neglect. And now we find ourselves in a moment where where our disparities in these demands for resources that attention is now being granted to the very people who have been calling for it. Johnson also criticized the federal government for cutting funding to cities such as Chicago that invests in reproductive health care. He added that he's looking forward to voting for Stratton in November general election, saying she could take this fight to the federal government. During her remarks, Stratton called attention to her efforts to ch- champion our state's birth equality initiative to expand access to the full spectrum of reproductive care in light of the very real Black maternal mortality crisis in this state and in this nation, as well as her own experience as a mother to four daughters, including one whose birthday was that same day. Today is not just about construction. It is not just about shovels and dirt and blueprints. Today is about rewriting the narrative about what is possible in the material wellness when we center community and follow the lead of Black midwives, Stratton said. Just as I tell my daughters the stories of the day they were born, I can only imagine the stories that will emerge out of this building. Stories of no longer having to get on 2 to 3 buses to access reproductive care that you need and deserve because now it is available right here on the South Side. Several local representatives and community leaders offered remarks, including Chico, who discussed the importance of expanding reproductive health care options on the South Side. Said Valerie Logan was a doula for her cousin's pregnancy, for his cousin during her pregnancy. The Chicago Southside Birth Center groundbreaking also included a ceremonial land blessing from members of the Chicago American Indian Community Collaborative. Family and friends of Valerie Logan were also in attendance at the ceremony, including Efernu, Efernu Mama Africa, and listen, IFARINU, Mama Africa, EGUNRINDE. It's too goddamn early. Listen, artist and owner of Mama Africa's Marketplace, who met Valerie Logan after surviving a difficult birth experience and developing a fear of hospitals. Valerie Logan later acted as the doula and midwife um, for EGUNRINDE, second and third pregnancy. As the Chicago South Side Birth Center enters its next phase, whoever that E person said she feels grateful that Black and Brown Southsiders will have a space to receive safe, holistic reproductive care, health care. Pregnancy and birth is already kind of scary, she said. Bringing in life, knowing that the smallest thing could end both lives. It's kind of it's kind of that precious balance of joy and fear and happiness and excitement. To know that there's a safe place here for our community to give birth and to bring life and care for mothers and their children, and then their children, and their children, and their children, and their children. It's important. We need more of them. While Valerie Logan feels she already made great progress on the birth center, she said there's still much more work to do, including securing ongoing funding, fighting for legislation to ensure birth workers are paid fairly, and advocating for birth quality locally nationwide. This is a huge win for Chicago, but the work isn't over. Now, I personally think that that is a win for Chicago. Okay, I think that that could be the start of something great. I think that if it grows, uh, if it grows, if it catches legs, then it would be a good thing. I really I really like to see things like this happening. So now we're on to the orange hoe. I need to drink of water for this one, child. I don't. So according to antiwar.com, Orange Jesus, the dual SOH blockade, and stagflation ahead. Lord Jesus. All right, let's read about what this orange hoe is doing now. When it comes to economics, the orange hoe is truly a knucklehead. Yes, yes, he is. Very much so. I agree. I agree with that statement. I'm going to read that again. When it comes to economics, the orange hoe is truly a knucklehead and a jackass. So now he's preparing to monkey hammer the entire $105 trillion global economy by putting the U.S. naval blockade on top of the Iranian blockade. The latter, of course, has already ground normal traffic of 115 ships per day through the Strait of Hormuz (SOH) to a single digital handful at best, and even de minimis daily total consists executively of IRGC approved shipments, mainly of Iranian crude oil, about 1.4 MB/d, going to China and other friends of Tehran. So now we actually have, therefore, a doable. So now what we have, therefore, is a doable blockade. Iran is stopping most of the normal traffic, which is deemed as either friendly to the U.S. and or Israel, or which has refused to pay the $2 million per ship Iranian transit fee. The U.S. Navy will now be stopping the residual of shipments by Iran to friends like China and India. Taken together, therefore, that's zero SOH traffic starting at 10 a.m. today of anything and everything that originate in the hydrocarbon mother lode of the global economy. In this continuously unfolding mania against Iran, the orange hoe has simply stuffed an airtight cork in the narrow waterway which drives the global economy on a daily basis. Strait of Hormuz traffic down by 95%. And here you can see a chart. The baleful quantitative impact cannot, you know what, let me make this bigger because, bitch, I'm having a hard time. Okay, there we go. The baleful quantitative impact cannot be gained, normally upwards of 24 million BOA a day, barrels of oil equivalent of crude oil, refined products, LNG, LPGs, naphtha, urea, and nitrogen fertilizer are sent into export markets through the SOH, and only a small part of that, about 2 to 3 million incremental barrels a day of Saudi crude, is now being rerouted to the Red Sea ports via the East-West pipeline. And even this workaround may be jeopardized soon if the Houthis close the Bab el Mendeb entrance to the Red Sea and is now being threatened. Indeed, getting Parisian Gulf oil to the Far East via a workaround of a closed Red Sea entrance would be one for the record books. To wit, the largest the largest 2 million barrel VLCC tankers that will normally take Saudi crude from Yanbu on the Red Sea to the Far East through Bab el Mandeb can only carry half a load through the Suez Canal due to draft limitations. And then at 50% loaded, the VLCC will need to transit to the Mediterranean through the Strait of Gibraltar for a trip around the Cape of Africa. From there, It would be across the Indian Ocean and through the Strait of Malacca to China, South Korea, and Japan. The trip to Japan, in its manner, would be 11,200 nautical miles and take upwards of 45 days. So if the U.S. Navy now blocks all Iranian-approved shipments that have paid the Iranian transit fee on one hand, and Iran in turn continues to block everything else from the Gulf exporters, you've got one hell of an instantaneous hole in the global hydrocarbon supply system. But here's the thing. In the short run, these products have almost no demand elasticity. No prices will soar by 2x to 4x in order to generate the demand destruction needed to rebalance the market. Of course, demand destruction is an economist's euphemism. It really means recession. To express the point in the Trumpian format, that is less carbon demand because laid off employees are not commuting to work, shut down factories are not consuming processed fuels and feedstocks. Travel based discretionary spending for leisure and hospitality is being sharply throttled back. In other words, the double whammy of Bib Don's the double whammy of Bib Don's idiotic Iranian sneak attack and war is going to push the already powerful stagflationary trend of the U.S. economy even harder. In turn, a that word that we can't say on YouTube, combo of rising prices and rising pig slip notices, and one in the same will likely foster a GOP wipeout of biblical proportions come November. Indeed, no one ever said that the Orange Hoe was an um adjunct an adjunct politician. He ended up in the Oval Office by fluke accident twice now because the identity politics obsessed Dems picked um the two worst candidates ever fielded by a major political party in all of American history. So what we have now is a monumental pow pow yourself in the kneecap play underway. The Orange Hoe has now effectively destroyed his presidency and got to put a fine point on it. This morning he attacked the Pope after posting a picture of himself last night depicting a self-resembling orange Jesus. Now obviously this was a few days ago. What remains, therefore, is just for the recipient to come do, namely sweeping congressional losses in November in at first history presidential impeachment before tax day 2027. Here is a chart. Y'all can screenshot that if you want to. I'm going to leave it up for a second. All right. Um, in any event, here's a flashing red warning light about these Stag's Flannery forces rushing down the pipeline. The 12-month rolling federal deficit for March 2026 clocked at $1.6 trillion, the same level it had been stranded at for the last 36 months running. And that's despite an unsustainable revenue boost, see below, from the Orange Hoe's now illegal tariffs and the collection of capital gains taxes on last year's stock market bubble. Needless to say, therefore, the federal deficit is fixing to accelerate. Somebody Southern wrote this. hmm Needless to say, therefore, the federal deficit is fixing to they finna accelerate skyward again, owing to a coming spurt in spending and recession induced downdraft to Uncle Sam's revenue stream. According to the 12-month rolling deficit, we'll be heading back toward the $3.0 trillion to $4.0 trillion range during the years immediately ahead. There will be no surprise. Lord Jesus, the federal outlays level is about to explode, owning the orange hole's insane war on the Persian Gulf, which isn't in real sustainable truth, by the way, shape or pause. This is just a pause that will soon break wide open again because there is no way to square the circle as between Bibi neocon quest to obliterate Iran as a functioning state and the latter's evident unwillingness to submit to that S word that we can't say on YouTube, surrender. Still, you examine the revenue side of March YTD budget figures. The footprint of impending recession is unmistakable to wit the fiscal YTD collection from withheld income taxes as of March 2026 amounted to $1.087 trillion by contrasting the inflation adjusted figure for March 2025 YTD was $1.088 trillion. That's right. In consistent dollars, there has been zero gain in withheld payroll taxes, meaning the U.S. economy is already treading water. And even when you look at withheld Social Security and related payroll taxes, the story is essentially the same. The constant dollar revenue collection up at just 1.7 on a Y/Y basis for March YTD. As we have frequently noted, the Green Eye Shades and the BLS have a seemingly inexhaustible toolkit of methods to fiddle with the reported jobs numbers. But one thing is sure, none of America's 155 million tax-paying employers are about to send in tax payments for phantom employees just to make the Joker in the White House look good at any given point in time. So here in inflation adjusted dollars, what employers have done during the first 6 months of the fiscal year on a YY basis, a gain of total payroll tax and collections of just 0.7%, therefore does indeed depict an economy on a slippery slope toward recession. March YTD withheld income and Social Security taxes. March YTD 2025, $1.931 trillion. March YTD 2026, $1.944 trillion. YY increase is plus 0.07%. In this case, the honest numbers from the IRS tax collectors actually pretty much track what the BLS has been reporting in its monthly jobs reports. For instance, between December 2024 and March 2025, the total count of non-farm jobs rose from 158.316 million to 158.637 million. That's a gain of just 21,000 jobs per month when the working age population grew by roughly 255,000 per month during the same period. Of course, we do not. Of course, we don't think the arbitrary dates of a presidential term have much to do with the cycles of economic rise and fall or the trend of rate of job growth. But still, the anemic gains during the Orange Hole's 15-month to date stand in sharp contrast with the alleged disaster of Sleepy Joe's term, where monthly non-farm job growth averaged 329,000 jobs gains per month. That's right. On a pure paint by numbers basis, Joe Biden's jobs growth rate clocked at 16 times the rate of the Orange Holes watch since December 2024. So the orange hole has not delivered the golden age prosperity to be sure. But there is something even more crucial in the numbers, namely that non-farm jobs gains of 21,000 per month and macroeconomic setting where working age population 18 to 70 years is growing by 225,000 per month is indicative of an economy lapsing into recessionary contradiction. And yet, that's actually not the half of it. Since December 2024, total non-farm employment has grown by just 321,000 jobs. During the same 15-month period, employment in the government, finance, private education, health, and social services sector has risen by 856,000. On the math, therefore, there has actually been 535,000 net loss of non-farm jobs um, outside of the education, healthcare, and social services sector. That hardly smacks a golden era of prosperity. Not when you start with the age of old GOP principle that prosperity systems from investment, productivity, and output in the true private sector. To that end, the graph below strips out both government sector, local, state, and federal post office, and primarily government finance, education, care, and social services sector from the non-farm payroll total. The graph leaves nothing to the imagination. When the socialistic Dems were in power during the 48 months between December 2020 and December 2024, the true private sector job count rose by 229,000 per month. Alas, the orange hole first 15 months, the second time around, the true private sector job has contracted by negative 21,000 per month. That's right. Employment levels in the true private sector have been shrinking for more than a year. And all of the maggot chest beating to contrary notwithstanding, yet the real shellacking from economic whirlwind spreading outward to the Persian Gulf, now infested by the blockade of the blockade, is still months from making landfall in the government's inherently lagging monthly economic numbers. Moreover, the graph below is a reminder of an even broader point, namely the whole MAGA maggot spiel about a fulsome virtues of orange hoe onomics is just groundless bullshit. Under the king of debt, fiscal spending, and borrowing, we're already out of control as of February 27th, and now with a full-on war in the Persian Gulf that the orange hole has no clue about how to end. The budget will soon be exploding in red at a $3 to $4 trillion or higher annual rate. Obviously, this was written before. This was written sometime in February. So with that, let's continue. After all, incremental war spending is already running at $700 billion annual rate, about $4 trillion of government spending driven by COLAs and inflationary services procurement, e.g., Medicare, Medicaid, is also set to get an inflation shock for the next year's spending adjustments, and the recessionary subtraction for revenues is just around the corner. And here's the chart that they were talking about. Okay. Um, January from January 2021 to January 2026. Okay. Um, Private employer healthcare. Listen, read the chart. Read the chart. Listen. Recent reports have given the same uh, explanatory signal as well. For instance, real GDP clocked in during Q4 2025, which means the fourth quarter in 2025, and limpid 2.0% rate, which is among the three lowest gains since 2013 and materially low since 2.5 average for 2012 to 2024. To be sure, real GDP is somewhat flaky number to begin with and is also a measure out the rear view mirror. But the point is, the U.S. economy was already struggling under the weight of a $105 trillion of public and private debt, and a financial system that is rampant with reckless speculation, um, malinvestment, and unproductive waste of economic resources. That is to say, the last thing America needed was another forever war. But that is exactly what the Orange Hole needlessly foisted upon the nation on February 28th. And this is a fourth quarter view of the YY growth rate. You can take a screenshot of that. Get the screenshots ready. One, two, three, four, five. Okay. While we think the major impact of Parisian Gulf energy and food price tsunami will be contractually causing widespread layoffs, idle capacity, and shrinking income and profits, it is also going to exacerbate the affordability issue mightily as well. With March CPI report now in the drastic setback in real consumer purchasing power, it is already starkly apparent with YY inflation now posting at plus 44% for home heating oil and nearly plus 19% for gasoline, plus 6.4% for utility gas, and plus 4.6% for electric bills, all the way through continuing stubbornly increasing prices for healthcare and services. Charlie Billow posted on X.com price changes over the last year. March CPI report. Fuel plus 44.2%. Gasoline plus 18.9%. Gas utilities plus 6.4%. Electricity plus 4.6%. Transportation plus 4.1%. Food away from home plus 3.8%. Medical care plus 3.7%. Overall CPI plus 3.3%. Shelter plus 3.0%. Food at home plus 1.9%. New cars plus 0.5%. Used cars negative 3.2%. In fact, the key sub-index for CPI services, including energy services, tells you all you need to know. It posted at 3.5% YY gain in March, meaning it has returned to its June 2021 starting point but refuses to shrink any further. That's a big problem. Of course, because the Iranian war's devastating impact on the global commodity complex from gasoline to LNG to urea and fertilizer derives to helium byproduct production in the Persian Gulf, natural gas processing plants to sulfur recoveries from refinery, um, desulfurization plants, and much more. Is going to take goods price back into another cynical spurt materially higher. Indeed, a far more real-time data of tr- the Trueflation Index reminds clearly just what is around the corner. So with goods prices overall already rising at a 4% annual rate, the Persian Gulf supply shock um, have barely yet entered the indices. The surging gains in array of goods prices reflected the graph below will soon be posting at double-digit YY rates, coming on top of core services inflation that remains at 3% or higher. Of course, the orange hoe is clueless about the booby trap that has foisted upon American economy and will likely be making social media posts for some months that deny the reality coming down to track to wit to a valorant uh, Trump site stagflagging is now locked and loaded. Alas, the American public may not be so dense. Already, consumer experts expectations of worsening inflationary impacts on their own personal finances are at the highest level in at least 56 years of the University of Michigan index shown below. The only issue now is how long the orange hole will survive impending stagflationary economic storm. When the orange hole flew back into the Oval Office, I'm going to change that. When the orange hole twirled his little bitch ass back into the Oval Office in January 2025, the old underlying U.S. economy was already a customizable mess of debt, speculation, malevolent, and lagging productivity. And the orange hole has now thrown on the match. David Stockman was a two-term congressman from Michigan. He was also the director of the Office of a Management Budget under President Ronald Reagan. After leaving the White House, Stockholm had a 20-year career on Wall Street. He is the author of three books. To try, okay, that's wonderful. That is so wonderful for him. I am so sick of that orange hole. I really am. I am sick and tired of that goddamn orange hole. Okay. What's up, bro? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Listen, this is some bullshit. I need some water. I need some coffee. I need some tea. I need some soda. I need some juice. My throat hurts. Okay, my throat hurts. Hold on, let me drop the link. Let me drop the link for you lovely people, which I should have done in the first place, but shit happens. Okay. Um. All right. So we are done with that orange host for now. There's more stories on it, but we don't come back to that like I'm sick of his ass. Okay. Sick of talking about the war. Okay, let's talk about this one right here. So, according to Fortune, the smoking crust, how reluctance to finish pizza slices captured a cereal offer or a cereal the leader at large for 30 years. So pizza, whatever reason, however it did it, it helped to catch a one of them people that are people. All right, let me make this bigger for y'all. And let me make this bigger for me. Okay. A Long Island man who carried out a series of deletions known as Gilio Beach. Gilio Beach killings pleaded, wow, what an appropriate name. Pleaded guilty to deletion charges this week, bringing bringing finality to a long unsolved case of more than 30 years after the first deletion. Rex Herman, Heuermann, Herman, an architect who led the a secret life as a serial deleter. Um, Hold on, Callie Cuz said, just keep teaching till you get tired. I'm listening and learning. I'm off today, so feed me knowledge, please. Yes, yes, yes. I will do that with a slight bit of sarcasm. sarcasticness. Um, y'all know me. Anyway, so he pleaded guilty Wednesday to 3 counts of first-degree deletion and 4 counts of intentional deletion in the offings of 7 women between 1993 and 2010. Um, Huerman, 62. He is 62 doing this bullshit. You are too goddamn old to be walking around just offing people all willy nilly. Huerman, 62, appeared unemotional and did not look back at the packed gallery of victims' relatives as he entered the police and also admitted to offing an eighth woman. Yeah, you better not look back at them. They're going to jump on your ass. And if they do, good for him. He will be sentenced to in June to life in prison without the possibility of parole. There are some key takeaways from the case. Huerman admits to the eighth offering, the discovery of numerous sets of human remains along Long Island's South Shore beginning in late 2010 set off a search for a potential serial offer or deleter that drew global interest. Families of victims grew doubtful that the deleter would ever be caught as the investigation dragged on for more than a decade. Huerman was arrested in 2023 after a DNA match. He admitted Wednesday that he strangled 8 female victims, dismembered some of them before dumping their bodies along remote stretches of the New York coastline. Many of his victims were special workers. They brought joy to men in a lot of places in different ways. Huerman admitted that he deleted Karen Vertega in 1996, although he hasn't been charged in her deletion. Remains of 6 victims, Melissa Bartholomew, Maureen Brainard Barnes, Amber Lynn Costello, Valerie Mack, Jessica Taylor, and Megan Waterman, are found along Ocean Parkway near Gilio Beach. The remains of another, Sandra Costello, were found more than 60 miles or 100 kilometers away in the Hamptons. Varsa's remains were found on Fire Island, more than 20 miles or 32 kilometers west in 1996, then near Gilio Beach in 2011. DNA lifted from discarded pizza crust. Listen, let me tell y'all something. If they want to find you, they are going to find you by any means necessary. Detectives identified Huerman as a suspect in 2022 using a vehicle registration database that connected him to a pickup truck that a witness report had reported seeing when one of the victims disappeared in 2010. Police pulled cell phone data that showed Huerman was in contact with some victims just before they disappeared, investigators said. The internet search history also showed a keen interest in the Gilio Beach deletion. A surveillance team tailed him in Manhattan, where he worked and watched as he discarded a box of partially open eaten pizza crust into a sidewalk garbage can. They rushed to grab the box and sent it to the crime lab, which matched in the DNA from a hair found on a burlap used to restrain one of the victims. Child, this movie here would be wonderful. I want to see this. I want to see exactly how they planned this out. Listen, a slice of pizza. Suffolk County District Attorney Ray Tierney described Wednesday how investigators worked to keep the probe quiet so as not to let Huerman know they were on to him. He wanted the one person who mattered, the deletioner, to think it business as usual, Tierney said. As part of his guilty plea, Huerman agreed to cooperate fully with the FBI's behavioral analysis unit to help catch other uh, deleters. Victims' families expressed relief. Several family members of the victims were present in court Wednesday, and some wept as Huerman detailed the deletion. Among them was Teller's mother, Elizabeth Bezekiel. Her 20-year-old daughter was living in Manhattan when she went missing in 2023. Teller's remains were discovered later that year, 45 miles or 72 kilometers east of Gilligo Beach in Manorville. I'm glad that this is over as far as him pleading guilty, Bezekiel said. It took a big chunk of stress off of me and my family. Melissa Kane, the sister of victim Brainerd Barnes, says she was grateful to finally get justice for her sister, whose body was found in 2010. This has been a long journey of hope. Hope that one day we would stand here and hear her name with justice beside it, Kane said at a news conference after the hearing. Today, that long, painful journey brings us to this moment. Humerman's ex-wife, Asia Earlup, and their daughter were also in court as he entered the guilty plea. Earlup said her thoughts were with the victims' families, and she asked for privacy for her own family. Earlup and her daughter Victoria had no knowledge or involvement of the deletions, said their lawyer, Robert McHenendo. All right, that is the end of that one. That's crazy though. A piece of goddamn pizza caught this man. That is something. My goodness. Um. Okay, let's go with this one. Let's go with this one. All right. So, we have Raw America here, and we are going to listen to him talk for a minute.
Sequential and chaotic periods in American political history. The president's hello, I'm British Chris, and this is my childhood home. And this is Raw America. We're living through one of the most consequential and chaotic periods in American political history. The president's mental fitness is now being questioned by his former allies. Hollywood stars are trying to stop a MAGA billionaire's major acquisition. A Trump-appointed prosecutor keeps losing in court, and the ICE detention death toll keeps climbing. Let's get right into it. Before we do, please consider updating your free Raw America subscription to a paying one if you have not yet. Raw America is Raw Story and Really Americans' people-powered response to the billionaire takeover of the media. MAGA oligarchs aren't buying newspapers and TV networks just because they love journalism so much. They're doing it because they want to control what you read and what you watch. The only way to counter that is to support independent journalism that answers to readers like yourself only. Raw America is 100% reader-funded. We don't have a right-wing billionaire calling the shots. Paid subscriptions are how this work survives and how we stay accountable only to you. Please become a paying member today. It genuinely makes a difference and not regret it. The debate over Donald Trump's questionable mental state has been simmering for years, but something shifted in recent weeks. It started with Trump's post threatening to destroy Iran's civilization. Then came a Sunday night attack on Pope Leo XIV, who Trump called weak and brutal. What new this time is where the criticism is coming from. Marjorie Taylor Greene told CNN that threatening to destroy Iran's civilization was insanity. They can finally see it. Candace Owens called him a genocidal lunatic. Again, first time. Alex Jones, a conspiracy theorist who once sold Trump like a religion, said the president's brain is not doing too hot. And coming from Alex Jones, that is quite the insult. Former Trump White House counsel Ty Cobb told journalist Jim Acosta that Trump is clearly insane. Again, first time. Former press secretary Stephanie Grisham wrote online that he's clearly not well, late to the party again. Americans largely agree. A Reuters and Ipsos survey found that 61% of Americans think Trump has become more erratic with age, and just 45% say he's mentally sharp and able to deal with new challenges, such as writing down his name in crayon. That's down 54% back in 2023. Democrats have called for the 25th Amendment to be invoked. Princeton historian Julian Zelizer put it plainly: Trump feels much freer, even than Nixon, to unleash his inner rage and to act on impulse. And unlike in the first term, there's nobody around him willing to pump those brakes. More than 1,000 film and television professionals signed an open letter this week opposing the $111 billion acquisition of Warner Bros. Discovery by Paramount Skydance. The list of signatories reads like a Hollywood Awards night lineup: Joaquin Phoenix, Ben Stiller, Kristen Stewart, Bryan Cranston, Jane Fonda, Lin-Manuel Miranda, David Fincher, Denis Villeneuve, Glenn Close, and hundreds more. Their argument is pretty straightforward. This merger would reduce the number of major US film studios to just 4, at the moment when the industry is already reeling from consolidation. The letter warns of fewer jobs, fewer opportunities for creators, less competition, and less choice for audiences, of course. Paramount pushed back with a lengthy statement promising to greenlight more projects. Yay. They call the merger a way to strengthen competition. You can decide how convincing that anti-argument is. Here's the wild card, though. California Attorney General Rob Bonta and attorneys general in other states are reportedly scrutinizing the deal and considering a legal action to block it. The open letter explicitly backs those efforts. If state regulators step in, this could get messy for Paramount and Skydance really quickly. This kind of billionaire-driven media consolidation is exactly why Raw America was created, by the way. Become a paying subscriber and help keep independent journalism in the fight. Jeanine Pirro, the former Fox News personality Trump installed as U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C., is having a rough stretch, to say the least. Her headline-grabbing investigations into Trump's political enemies keep running into a problem. Judges and juries are not buying them. Last month, federal judge James Borsberg threw out Pirro's subpoenas to the Federal Reserve, ruling they appeared designed solely to harass and pressure Fed Chair Jerome Powell, who Trump has been itching to fire, of course. The judge wrote the prosecutors had, quote, offered no evidence whatsoever that Powell committed any crime other than displeasing the president, which I guess they're not paying attention because that's a crime these days. Pirro's office also tried to convince a grand jury to indict 6 Democratic lawmakers who released a video reminding military members of their obligation to refuse illegal orders. The grand jury passed. Then there was a case against a man who threw a sandwich at a federal agent, a whole sandwich, people, that was also rejected, quite shockingly. Trump has reportedly taken notice of Pirro's record, and the team she's assembled to handle the most politically charged cases is a little unusual, like the idiot Avengers, if you will. One of her special counsels, Carlton Davis, has spent most of his career as a Republican congressional staffer. The other, Stephen Van der Velden, is a dance photographer. Top minds. Pirro said publicly that she left a very nice life because this is what she loves and what the president asked her to do. The courts so far have been less enthusiastic about her new career choice. A 49-year-old Mexican man named Alejandro Cabrera Clemente died on April 11th at the Wynn Correctional Center in Louisiana. He was found unresponsive, transferred to a medical center, and pronounced dead. He's the 47th person to die in ICE detention during the Trump administration's second term. Last month, Mexican diplomat Vanessa Calva Ruiz described the pattern bluntly, calling the deaths an alarming, unacceptable trend and pointing to systemic failures, operational deficiencies, and possible negligence, which is a very polite way of calling it out. The numbers back her up, of course. ICE detention has hit a record 70,000 people, the highest level in the agency's 23-year history. An ABC News analysis found the death rate in the first 14 months of the current term running at 11 per 100,000 admissions. That's compared to 7 per 100,000 last year and just 1 per 100,000 in 2022. It's the deadliest stretch in federal immigration detention since the COVID-19 pandemic. 47 people have died. The rate is accelerating, and the people in charge are ignoring it. Raw America recently brought you an exclusive interview with Miles Taylor, the former Trump DHS official who blew the whistle on what he saw inside that administration. This week, we're bringing you live interviews with Liz Oyer, the former Biden DOJ pardon attorney who's been speaking out, and Substack host Jim Acosta. Those are the kinds of conversations that matter, and they're conversations you won't find everywhere. Of course, none of it happens without paying subscribers like yourself. If you've been reading or watching for free, this is the moment to sign up. Please subscribe today. Support independent journalism. That's how we keep doing this work and how we make sure.
That is wonderful for him. Listen. All right, listen, y'all. I have been talking for an hour and 37 minutes. Okay. Um, I just, my throat hurts. I don't want to talk no more. Alright? I don't want to talk no more. I'm done talking. So what I'm going to do is send y'all over to Mama T. Okay? We're going to go and we are going to say hello and we are going to participate in the chats. All right? And I am going to type because I am tired of talking. I don't want to talk no more. All right. Listen, I'm put this link in the chat. All right. And y'all go see Mama T. Okay? Listen. Thank y'all for being here this morning. Okay. We will see y'all tomorrow. All right. Um, like I said, I'm tired of talking, but I do appreciate y'all being here though. Okay. Whether you're here in the live or you are watching the replay, you are here and that is what matters. Now I'm finna send y'all back out into the wild. Y'all go get your bulletproof vest. You know how these YouTube streets be. Now I'm gonna shut the entire fuck up and go type. Okay? Y'all go see Mama T. I'll see y'all later.
Thanks for rocking out with your girls, you know what I'm saying?
It's been real, baby. But we got to go.
If you get blocked or timed out, it's just business, nothing personal.
Now see, if you had got you some act right, that wouldn't have happened in the first place.
Bye, we out.
Y'all come back now. You hear?